Yo ho ho! I see thar yonder, me hearties. Come back to learn more about Jonah and his adventure, I see. Ye be just in time. If ye be doing art today, all you need is paper, scissors, glue, a hole punch, and 2 rubber bands. And with that, it'll be time for worship. So stand up on your feet and let's get to it.
My hero defender, captain of my soul, I will remember the victories you've won. As trouble comes my way in the darkest of days, I will look to you and lift my voice to say, I will
guys, how's it going? Are you ready for today's game? Today's game is called Captain Says. It's basically the same as Simon Says. I'm gonna say a hand motion and say Captain Says salute, and you have to copy me. But make sure you don't do the motion unless I say Captain Says. You guys got it? Are you ready? Okay, here we go. Captain Says put one hand on your shoulder. Captain Says put the other hand on your hip. Captain Says stand on one leg. Captain Says stick your tongue out. Put your hands on your head. Did I get anybody? All right, are you guys ready for round 2? I'm gonna go a little bit faster this time, so pay attention. Okay, here we go. Captain Says touch your head. Captain Says squat. Captain Says open your mouth. Captain Says close your eyes. Now pull your ears. Did I get anybody? All right, you guys ready for our last and final round? Round 3. I'm gonna go much faster this time, so be ready. Here we go. Captain Says fold your hands like you're praying. Captain Says get on your knees. Captain Says touch your head. Captain Says stick out your tongue. Captain Says close one eye. Captain Says hold your hair. Captain Says put your hands on your hips. Captain Says stand up. Sit down. Did I get anybody? Oh, I hope you guys had fun playing today. We'll see you next time.
Man, it's getting really blustery out there. Oh, hey guys, fellow science super fans. It's so good to see you. You know, I've been traveling the whole wide world studying storms, and boy, has it been an adventure. You know, storms are a disturbance of the atmosphere. And there are many different kinds of storms. There are cyclones, hurricanes, tornadoes, sandstorms, lightning storms, tornadoes, lightning storms, hurricanes. There are so many different kinds. And you know, they occur all over the world too, and even happen in space. Well, the most common are thunderstorms. Yes, thunderstorms. So the most common storm are thunderstorms, and a thunderstorm is a rainstorm with lightning and thunder. And the National Severe Storms Laboratory estimates there are about 16 million thunderstorms that occur on Earth every single year. Wow, that's a lot of thunderstorms. You may be wondering at this point in time, how exactly do thunderstorms form? Well, let me tell you. Thunderstorms have 3 primary ingredients that make them form: moisture, unstable air, and lift. Now, when there's a lot of moisture in the air, it creates these big, dark, heavy clouds called cumulonimbus clouds. Now, these are the clouds that Eeyore says looks like rain. But they're also the clouds that create thunderstorms. Now, it also needs, for a thunderstorm to occur, it also needs unstable air. Unstable, not stable, unstable air. Unstable air is warm air and more moisture is in the air, so it's warmer, it's got more moisture than the environment in the air around it, which causes it to rise. And then it goes up to the big cumulonimbus clouds and causes them to get really, really big. That helps put some beef in the thunderstorm. Now, the third ingredient to the perfect thunderstorm is lift. And lift can be caused by wind or by sea breezes or sometimes even by mountains. And then once lift has occurred, then all those 3 things work together to create the perfect conditions to cause the perfect thunderstorm. Here, let me show you. These blue ice cubes represent cumulonimbus clouds. And cumulonimbus clouds are colder than the environment around them. Here's some clouds. Here's some more clouds. one more cloud. Here are the cumulonimbus clouds. Now, this red represents unstable air. Now watch what happens when I put some unstable air up next to those cumulonimbus clouds. See how the red is rising above the blue? That's because the unstable air rises above colder air. So it rises up to join the cumulonimbus clouds to create the perfect conditions necessary for an epic thunderstorm. Cool, right? You know, the thing I love the most about thunderstorms is that they really remind me just how mighty God is. You know, there's a verse in the Bible that I love from the book of Job, chapter 28, verse 26, which says, He gave order for the rain to fall, and He made paths for the thunderstorms. Wow, now that's mighty. Thank you for joining me today as I've shared my love for storms with you. It's been really, whoa. Speaking of storms, I think the one outside is really starting to pick up. It is making me feel a little queasy. Oh no.
Hey guys, it's me, Michaela. Today we're going to look up our memory verse. Our memory verse is found in Leviticus chapter 22, verse 31. Leviticus is a book in the Old Testament. Let's go find it. Okay, so there's 3 steps to looking up a memory verse. First, we need to find the book, then the chapter, and finally the verse. To find the book of Leviticus in the Bible, we need to look at the table of contents, which is usually found at the beginning of your Bible. Here's mine, table of contents. Now, the table of contents is usually split up into 2 parts, the Old Testament and the New Testament. We know that the book of Leviticus is in the Old Testament, so we can start there. We're going to look for a book that begins with the letter L. So I'm going to scroll down with my finger. Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, there it is. Did you find it? All right, now let's find out what page it's on. In my Bible, it's on page 116. So let's go there. The page numbers in my Bible are big and at the top. This is page 7. We need 116. 115. 116. Leviticus, there it is. Did you find it? All right, now we have to find chapter 22. Chapter numbers are the big numbers in the book. Here's 1 and 2. Let's go to 22. 20. 21. And 22. And now we have to find verse 31. The verse numbers are the little numbers in the text. There's 2, 3, 14, 17, 22, we need 31, 26, 29, 31. Leviticus 22, 31. Obey my commands. Follow them. I am the Lord. Did you guys find it? Great job.
Hey guys, it's Allison. I hope you've been practicing your memory verse because we're going to do it again right now, okay? Do you remember it? We're going to do it once, break it up again, and then we'll try to see if we can do it 2 times in a row. But I know you guys have been practicing because I told you last week, and I know you listen, okay? So let's do it. Leviticus 22, 31. Obey my commands. Follow them. I am the Lord. You guys remember it, don't you? Yeah, I know. Okay, let's break it up now. First part is obey. So we're going to take our thumb, put it in front of us, take our other hand with our pointer finger, touch above our eyebrow, then bring it down into another thumbs up and push it out. You guys got that? Let's try it. Obey. One more time. Obey. Good job. And then the second part is my commands. So we're going to take our pointer finger to the chin, go kind of in a half circle and push it away from us. Let's try it together. My commands. One more time. Commands. Good job. Let's try those 2 together. Obey my commands. Good job. Okay. And the second part is follow them. You guys remember follow? We're going to take our two thumbs, one in front of the other, and this guy's going to follow this guy. So we're going to push him out. Follow. Good job. One more time. Follow. Nice job. And then for them, we're going to take our pointer finger and push it out. Try that one more time. Them. Good job. Let's try it together. Follow them. Awesome. Let's see if we can put all those parts we just learned together, okay? Let's try it. Obey my commands. Follow them. Good job. And the last part is I am the Lord. So we're going to take our pointer finger and thumb, stick them out, go from our top shoulder across our body down here. I am the Lord. One more time. I am the Lord. Awesome job. Okay, let's see if we can do it 2 times in a row, but I know we can, okay? Here we go. Leviticus 22:31. Obey my commands. Follow them. I am the Lord. Good job. Okay, one more time. Here we go. Leviticus 22:31. Obey my commands. Follow them. I am the Lord. Amazing job, guys. Okay, remember, keep practicing. I'll see you guys next week.
Welcome to Live with Lonnie. Thanks for tuning in. We have a special show planned for you today, so without further ado, let's meet today's guest. Hi, welcome to the show.
Hi Lonnie, thanks for having me on.
You bet. To get started, could you share with us your name and what you do?
My name is Zach. I've been a saltwater fisherman since the age of 5, so I've been doing that for about 21 years.
Sounds exciting. Could you share with our listeners what it's like to be out on the water in a boat?
Typically, being on the water allows me to relax and disconnect from the quick pace of life, and I also get to work on becoming a better fisherman in the process.
That sounds truly wonderful. But what about the times when the weather turns bad? What is that like?
Well, a few years ago, my friend and I had a small 17-foot boat. It's actually smaller than this. And one morning, we decided to go fishing out of Oceanside Harbor. While driving to the harbor, the weather was bright and sunny, and we were ready for a fun day of fishing. Well, once we put our boat in the water and was leaving the harbor, we found ourselves in a storm. The wind quickly came up and the seas were growing bigger. By the time we were out in the ocean, the seas were over 12 feet tall, which is basically my height times 2. So, on both sides of us were 12 feet walls of water, and our boat was in the middle of both these waves. And we found ourselves in a situation that we were totally unprepared for. As we would come up one wave, we would be able to see the land, and then we would drop down to another wave, and all the land would disappear, and all we could see is a big wall of water. And this went on for about 20 minutes as we tried to make our way through these waves without sinking the boat.
Oh, wow. So what did you and your friend do in the bad storm?
Since our boat has an engine on it, I was driving from a steering wheel just like this and using this as the gas pedal. And my job to try to not sink the boat was to stay perfectly in between the waves. So you'd have a wave here and a wave here, and our boat would be right in the middle. And so I had to time each wave perfectly so that we would come up over one wave and come down the other without going too far over the front wave and sinking the front of the boat that way, or having a wave crash into the boat. So while doing all this, I said a silent prayer while also thinking about where the life jackets were stored. My friend and I looked at each other, white-knuckled and all, and we understood that we were in for a ride of our lives that we were not expecting. We had to go out about a half mile to find a point where we could turn around just because the waves were so big, and had we turned around prior, the wave could have hit the side of the boat and rolled the boat over. So we found a spot about half mile away, made our turn, and started to head back into the harbor. Again, we had to put the boat in between both swells all the way in so that we wouldn't capsize. We were fortunately able to do it, and we came into the harbor at full speed as fast as we possibly could once the waves cleared, and put the boat back on the trailer just as soon as we possibly could.
That's very intense. Thanks for sharing your experience.
Thanks for coming out on the boat today and hearing my story. Catch you later.
Well, listeners, there you have it. It's amazing and scary how quickly storms can appear out on the water. Zach and his friend were fortunate to have made it safely back into the harbor, but that doesn't always happen. Listen carefully to see how the men in today's story do.
Andy?
Oh, hi, Allie. You scared me.
Scared you? What's got you so jumpy today?
Oh, that. Well, nothing.
Andy, are you okay?
Okay, yeah, I'm great. I'm good. I'm fine, yeah.
Because you look kind of sweaty.
Sweaty?
so-
No, I'm not. I'm good. I'm fine. Yeah, it's good.
Uh-huh.
Totally fine.
Hey guys.
Hi, Alexis.
Do you guys know what happened to this flashlight? I found it in the bushes around the corner, and it looks like somebody dropped it into a bucket of paint.
Hey, that kind of looks like your dad's new flashlight, Andy.
That's weird. Really?
Andy, you seem kind of nervous. Are you okay?
Okay, I confess. I broke the flashlight.
You did? How?
My dad told me not to play with it, but it just looked so cool, so I did. Then I set it down on a table in the garage for just a second, and it rolled off the table and fell into the bucket of paint.
Okay, so how did it end up in the bushes?
Well, I felt really bad that I broke my dad's flashlight after he told me not to touch it, but I didn't want to tell him, so I thought that if I hid the flashlight, then maybe we'd never find out, and that's why I put it in the bushes.
Oh, I see. Well, Andy, you know you're not the only one who's ran away and hid after they've sinned.
I'm not?
He's not?
Yeah, remember Jonah from last week? He disobeyed God and he tried to run and hide from him. Let's see what happened because of the decision he made.
Okay.
Sounds good.
But the Lord sent a strong wind over the Mediterranean Sea. A wild storm came up. It was so wild that the ship was in danger of breaking apart. All the sailors were afraid. Each one cried out to his own God for help. They threw the ship's contents into the sea. They were trying to make the ship lighter. But Jonah had gone below deck. There he lay and fell into a deep sleep. The captain went down to him and said, "How can you sleep? Get up and call out to your God for help. Maybe he'll pay attention to what's happening to us. Then we won't die." Here's what the sailors said to one another. "Someone is to blame for getting us into this trouble. Come, let's cast lots and find out who it is." So they did, and Jonah was picked. They asked him, "What terrible thing have you done to bring all this trouble on us? Tell us, what do you do for a living? Where do you come from? What is your country? What people do you belong to?" He answered them, "I'm a Hebrew. I worship the Lord. He is the God of heaven. He made the sea and the dry land." They found out he was running away from the Lord. That's because he had told them. Then they became terrified, so they asked him, "How could you do a thing like that?" The sea was getting rougher and rougher, so they asked him, "What should we do to make the sea calm down?" "Pick me up and throw me into the sea," he replied. "Then it will become calm. I know it's my fault that this terrible storm has come on you." But the men didn't do what he said. Instead, they did their best to row back to land, but they couldn't. The sea got even rougher than before. Then they cried out to the Lord. They prayed, "Please, Lord, don't let us die for taking this man's life. After all, he might not be guilty of doing anything wrong. So don't hold us responsible for killing him. Lord, you always do what you want to." Then they took Jonah and they threw him overboard, and the stormy sea became calm. The men saw what had happened. Then they began to have great respect for the Lord. They offered a sacrifice to him, and they made promises to him. Now the Lord sent a huge fish to swallow Jonah, and Jonah was in the belly of the fish for 3 days and 3 nights.
So, Alexis, is God gonna make something terrible happen because I broke my dad's flashlight?
Well, the skies are clear and I don't see any storms heading our way.
Hold on. This is a totally bizarre story. A huge storm out of nowhere and Jonah somehow sleeping through it? And what in the world is casting lots anyway?
Well, that's a great question, Allie. Good thing we have an expert who can help us. Professor Hilkin!
Well, the practice of casting lots is a lot like flipping a coin or playing eeny, meeny, miny, mo. You know, when your friends get in a circle and you point at them individually and say, "Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Catch a tiger by his toe. If he hollers, let him go. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo." and whoever Mo falls on is the one that's it. You see, a lot of times in the Old Testament, people will do something similar to this to make a final decision. It was called casting lots. See, in the story of Jonah, the men on the ship decided the storm must be someone's fault, so they played eeny, meeny, miny, mo, and it fell on Jonah. That's when Jonah finally admitted that he was a prophet and was running away from God.
So Jonah didn't even confess until after the sailors' lots fell on him.
That's right. And why do you think it took all that for Jonah to admit he had sinned?
Well, I know how terrible it feels when you do something you're not supposed to. It makes you feel like you want to hide. I bet Jonah felt the same way.
Yeah, that's very true, Andy. See, sin on the inside feels just like the storm looked on the outside. And you know what? Jonah's not the only one who's ever felt this way. Remember way back in the beginning of the Bible, what did Adam and Eve do when they sinned?
They tried to hide from God, but that's silly because no one can hide from God because he knows and sees everything.
Yep, you see, God had big things that he wanted Jonah to do. And no matter how far Jonah tried to run, there was nowhere he could go that God wasn't still in control.
And then that big fish came out of nowhere and swallowed him up. Unbelievable! Whoever heard of a fish swallowing a man whole?
You're right, Allie. That would be so hard to believe if we didn't know so much about God.
What do you mean?
Well, you see, the Bible tells us about who God is and how much he loves us. There's this really cool verse in Isaiah that talks about all that God can do. It's found in Isaiah chapter 45, verse 7, and this is what it says. I cause light to shine. I also create darkness. I bring good times. I also create hard times. I do all these things. I am the Lord.
Wow, God really is mighty, and there was nothing that Jonah or anyone else could have done to mess up his plan.
Yeah, but his sin still had really big consequences.
Oh yeah, like the crazy storm and all the sailors getting stuck in it too.
Yeah, and even then, God showed Jonah that he was in control and that he wasn't done with him yet. But Jonah wasn't the only one who realized God's power.
Really?
Yeah, remember the sailors? They saw God and realized his power over everything, and then they started to fear him and they made promises to him.
Whoa. Let me get this straight. So the story today starts with Jonah running from God and ends with God's plan still happening. Jonah being saved by getting swallowed by a huge fish, and the sailors believing in God?
Yup. It shows that God is in control of everything.
And that God knows and sees everything, even when we try and hide it.
Yeah. Andy, what do you think?
I know what I did was wrong, and trying to hide my sin was silly, because no one can hide anything from God. I should have told my dad right away and asked for his forgiveness. I think I'm gonna go do that now.
That's a great idea, Andy.
Go, Andy! You've got this. Can't wait to hear how it goes.
We learned from today's memory verse that we should obey God and do the things that he wants us to do. But sometimes we mess that up. And sometimes we might even pretend to hide that sin. Or we might even try to run from God, like Jonah did. But we know that doesn't work because God is so powerful. He knows where you are at all times. He even knows the thoughts in your brain and the numbers of little hairs on your head, literally. But you know what that shows us? It shows us how much we matter to God. And it also tells us that he won't leave us, even when we mess up. He's right there, and we can turn to him and ask for forgiveness. You know, God is always with us, even when times are rough or really good or when we mess up. Will you pray with me? Father God, thank you that you are so powerful, that you know everything, you see everything, and that you are in control. Thank you for never leaving us. In your name we pray. Amen.
Hey guys, you know what time it is? That's right, it's time for the review game. Are you ready? Here we go. Question number 1. How did the sailors decide who was to blame for the storm? Did they do A, eeny, meeny, miny, moe? B, cast lots? Or C, pick a number between 1 and 10? Do you remember what they did? The answer is B. The sailors cast lots to see who was to blame for the dangerous storm. Question number 2, true or false? Jonah was the only person who hid from God when he sinned. Is this true or false? The answer is false. Adam and Eve were the first people mentioned in the Bible who hid from God after they sinned. Since then, many others have also. Question number 3, true or false? God sees everything we do. Is this true or false? The answer is true. The Bible tells us that we cannot hide from God. Question number 4. What are some things in today's story that show us God's power and His control over everything? Was it A, the sudden storm? B, a big fish swallowing Jonah whole? Or C, all of the above? Do you have your answer? The answer is C. In today's story, we see that God knows all things, sees all things, and controls all things. Great job, everybody.
Hey there, today we're going to make another thaumatrope. And remember, a thaumatrope is an optical illusion made into a toy. It's made by taking 2 pictures and gluing them together back to back so that when you twirl them, your eye sees them as one image. And today we're going to make the boat that Jonah sailed away in and then the storm that God sent. So here's what you need. You're going to need a piece of paper and a pencil and something that you can make a circle with, like a cup or a jar, something that you can draw to trace a circle. And then you're going to need scissors to cut it out and glue to glue the pictures together. And if you want your pictures to be in color, you're going to need crayons or markers. And then you're going to need a hole punch to punch your holes and 2 rubber bands. Are you ready to make yours? Follow me. Okay, to start, we need to make 2 circles. So I got this little glass jar, but you could get anything that's round, and I'm just going to trace 2 circles the exact same size. That's all that's important, is that they're the same size. And I liked this jar because it made bigger circles for me. Now I'm going to draw my pictures. On the first one, I'm going to put a little line that goes along the half here that's very light, because I want to draw one side is more the bottom half of my circle and the other side is more the top. So we're going to start with the boat that Jonah sailed off in. So I'm drawing a calm sea by just making a line where there's no waves and the ocean's blue or the sea is blue. And then a sailboat. And because it's a nice, bright, sunny day when they start off, I'm going to make my sails bright and orange. But then what happened in the story is God sent a storm. And so that's the other side of my picture. And I'm going to take my gray marker, and in the top of this picture, I'm going to make gray thunderstorm clouds. And because I want this to feel really stormy, I'm going to add bolts of lightning with yellow. And then lots and lots of rain. Okay, now I have my 2 pictures, and so I need to cut them out. Now, how I put my thaumatrope together is going to be the most important part of this. So I'm going to put my boat over the thunderstorm like this. And then I'm actually just going to turn it upside down and put it on the back so that the thunderstorm is showing on this side coming down and the boat is sitting on the water going up. So let me show you that again. There's the thunderstorm with the boat, and I'm turning my boat over and putting them back to back like that. And I'm going to draw or punch my holes on either side so that I have it lined up. And now I'm going to take it apart and just put glue on one half, getting as close to the edge as I possibly can. Okay, now I'm going to line up the holes again. And see where I've got white up there? I'm going to trim it so the circles match a little bit better. And then I'm going to take 2 rubber bands and I feed one on each side. So the rubber band goes through and then I pull it through just to loop it like this. Do the same thing to the other side. And I've learned that the easiest way to spin it is just to hold one side and spin the other. So as I spin it back and forth, you can see that the boat starts on a sunny day and then the rain comes with the thunder. And there you have your second thaumatrope. Good job.
God said, Jonah, go this way. I have so much for you to say. I've had it with the Ninevites, for it's time for them to change.
But Jonah did not go that way. From Nineveh he ran. Trouble came aboard that boat. A storm came blowing down. Wind blowing hard. Ship tossed about. Man overboard, a big fish swimming around. Wind blowing hard, ship tossed about. Man overboard, a big fish swimming around. Swim, Jonah, swim. Swim, Jonah, swim. A doo-doo-doo, swim. A swim, a Jonah, a Jonah, swim. A Jonah, swim, swim, a swim-a-dee, swim. Jonah, swim. A swim-a-dee, Jonah, Jonah, swim. A swim-a-dee, Jonah, Jonah, swim. A doo-doo-doo, swim. Jonah, swim.
Well, it seems Jonah is well on his way to Davy Jones' locker, he be. I'll be sure wanting to find out what happens next. Can't wait to see you all next week when we find out what happens to Jonah in the briny deep.
Swim, Jonah, swim. Swim, Jonah, swim. Swim, Jonah, swim.